all of you wonderful people who are here for the training in directing, as it is with our new Restream platform. I think everybody knows each other at this point, except for I think Michael and Heidi. I'm not sure y'all have met. Michael, this is Heidi. Heidi, this is Michael. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen on top of everybody else. So you should be able to hear. You should be able to hear each other, but you won't be able to see each other starting now. Okay, can everybody see the screen okay?
Yes.
It's very meta, right? So this here, if you see, I'm like making a line around, that is the window, like the preview window of what it's supposed to look like. Are you guys still here? Someone's
Yes.
Great. So that's the preview window. If you see over here on the right, that's like all the different feeds that are going in. You can turn on and off a feed. Like if I'm like, I don't want to hear Tracy, boom, I turn her off and we can't hear her. And she goes black and white. That's how you know that it's not working. You stuck out your tongue at me, Tracy. I could see that. And so that's pretty simple. One of the things that I think is interesting is you can also do what's called spotlight. That this is really confusing. Here, let me do this one. Here, spotlight, which makes everybody else small except for one person big. That's the oh, I just lost my thing. That's this button right here. If you press that, it spotlights it. If you press this button, with the two arrows, that means that whatever that window is takes over the whole screen. Basically, I'm going to take you through the mechanics of actually leading the worship, and then I'm going to back up and talk to you about settings. Does that make sense? Okay, so the good news is that the link is static, so we shouldn't have to send people new links every time anymore like we used to. But if you need to find the link to send to somebody, wait, that's not the button. This is the button that says invite guests. You click that, you can copy it and email it to anybody. I am now recommending that people, when they direct, you can direct from home if you want to, but I'm now recommending that people come in and direct from the computer in my office, because we now know that it works. In the past, it has not worked, but we've upgraded both the laptop and we've upgraded our internet since then. So now you can direct from the office, and it just has some advantages. If you are directing from home, there's a few extra things. The people who've already been directing from home are used to this. We have to get you set up to log in to Chrome via the host account. Host at aidenschurch.org is basically the name of the account that everything's under. And the password is usually Aiden's Church because we're awesome at security. So if you're logging on from home, you have to do that, and then you have to download the videos for that Sunday, which are like the music. But if you just come in here, it should all be ready for you to go, like it is right now. So in general, there's sort of two different ways that you can have like people talking to each other. They can either be really tight on the screen and fill up the whole screen on their face, or they can have like little boxes. I'm going to show you an example of this in just a second. Oh, wait. Boom. So this would be an example of the tight fit. And then this is the example of the wider. We have been having a lot of arguments as to what's better for most of the time when we're presiding in the church services, whether it's better to have it closer so people can see more clearly, or whether it feels like you're too much up in someone's face. Yes, exactly. Thank you very much, Patricia. For the moment, I think we're going to try going like this, even though on Sunday we went like that. But that's something that may even be had to be made by the preferences of the director themselves. If you decide the windows are in the wrong place, you can just grab one and move it over to the other one. and look at how it does. Yay. All right, let me bring back in the other people. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, Michael, did you have a question? You're just raising the roof. Okay.
Celebrate that like the software is better. That's all. No, I wasn't raising
Celebrating the software is better. Yes, and it actually works. Okay, going back to my screen share again. Okay. Sorry, something's in my face that I want to take out for a second. There we go. Okay. So for the most part, it's two talking faces, right? It's me and whoever the guest worshiper is. The way that you just saw up there, and you make sure that the blue thing is on for the two feeds that you want to be featured. The other thing is the music. So one thing to be aware of is I don't think there's any way to turn off your own feed. I think that the director's feed is going to be up there. So when you're directing, there'll be 3 windows, one for you, one for each of the other people. They won't be able to hear you in the feed unless your blue is blued up. If you see everyone is blue right now so that we can hear the audio, even though the video feed is my screenshot. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, great. When it comes time to for the actual like adding when it comes time to bring in a piece of music, a video for music in the service, if you follow along in the order of liturgy, it should tell you which one's which. And one of the limitations of this program is that you can only add in, like, you can only prep one video at a time. So when I'm starting off with the opening prayers or the opening chatty chats, you want to make sure you go in and put in the first hymn. And you do that by clicking on this button, and then you click open video. And then you have to take it from the, oh, you probably can't see. Oh, you can see. Oh, yay. Then you have to take it from the hard drive. This is one of the reasons why I encourage you to use the computer here, because it's automatic. It's automatically syncs with our Google Drive. Right now, the numbers of the songs correspond to the way we have been doing worship. Another thing that's a limitation of this software, we have not yet figured out how to have an audio track without a video track. So right now, the background music is not so much worth anything. So I'm going to go ahead and put up the first hymn, which is number 2, and always corresponds to what's in the service leaflet that will be emailed to you on that day.
Les, I have a quick question.
Yes, please.
Could you not put the video up and blue it out so that you can't see its video, but you can still hear the music?
That's a great point. So you could we
can try it another time though, so that we don't.
No, I actually tried what you're talking about. And you can do it if there's only one video feed, but you can't have 2 people in.
Oh.
And do that. You could do like spotlight. So let me do the music video, and then I'll circle back.
Okay.
So in order to do the music video, usually you'll have 2 people talking on screen, and what I recommend is just hit the maximize button, and then all of a sudden it'll start to play. I realized I kind of lost you there. As it plays, when one of the things I recommend is while it's playing, you go and you start muting. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. You go and you start muting the other people, so that while it's playing, if they make noise, they can't hear them. But you want to make sure that at the end, as the song is approaching the end, you turn the 2 people back on again, and when the video stops, it will automatically bring those people back in. So just like, oh well, I guess this doesn't work. So it's just like maximize, and if it were to end, boom, everybody comes back. And it'll automatically do that, so you don't have to like think about when to make the flip. If the people's feet are hot, they'll come right back in. Those are sort of like those are the big mechanics, right? The switch back from music to not music. So you find music by the local videos here, and put it in, and then it comes in a window, and then you pop it up, maximize. Just make sure that as it's ending, the people's feet are hot behind, and then when it goes away, they'll pop back up. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, great. One of the things that's interesting about Restream is, if you notice, it says chat here. All of the people who put in chats from Facebook and YouTube will go in this place. And if you decide to type something in there, it should populate out there too, which is really neat. You don't have to have a separate window to follow the chats that are going on in the worship anymore. And on top of that, one thing that I discovered by accident this last Sunday, if you were watching, is, so for example, if this is a text, if you hit show, they'll pop up at the bottom of the screen, which is really neat. So like when people are giving the piece, you can like pick different pieces and showcase them while the music is going on, for example. Or the same thing with the amen in the beginning. Now you can pop from message to message, but it's not but if you want them to go away, you have to actually hit the thing at the top, which is hide. So that way you can feature the different comments as they come in, which is nice, especially for like the well wishes of the piece and stuff like that. We might find it to be useful as well for the prayer requests. As of now, at least, I sort of plan on having the presider still read them from the live comments. Though when I'm on my sabbatical starting in January and we have a different priest covering on Sundays, it might get to the point where it's easier for you just to showcase something in the feed and for him to read it off of the screen. It sort of depends on how much brain power it takes to direct, which I don't know yet because it's new to it, and I realize it's a lot of new information right now. Okay, so that's chat. There's also a thing called captions, where you can write both a primary and a secondary text if you want to. I put in like "Welcome to St. Aidan's," which you can put up in the beginning, or what I actually prefer is "Welcome." Say hi in the comments, so that when people come in, they know that they're welcome and they know that we want them to say hi. Also, from time to time, if you want to plug people to like or subscribe, I also created one that was like, remember to like and subscribe, please, pretty please. We actually did get a new subscription off of Sunday, and I think it's because I did that. But anyway, that's the captions are things that I'm going bottom. Once again, like you just click it to show it and click it to hide it, and it automatically makes it go out all fun and cool. Graphics is the next tab. I put up, once again, this is another advantage of using the computer that's here. What I found is Restream seems to remember the settings that have been put in that computer, but not for the account. So if you log in with a different computer, the graphics that I've preloaded won't be there automatically. You'll have to take them from the Google Drive from the host account, which I can walk you guys through. It's not a problem, but it just is going to be more than we're going to cover in this training. In general, I like to have a watermark logo. And guess what? You guys, because you are here for this training, get to decide, do you want our watermark logo moving forward to be A, the one we've had with the oval, or B, do you want it to be the circle logo?
I like the circle. What do you guys think?
Looks like Heidi's on board with the circle. What about you, Michael? What do you say?
I like the circle because you can actually read the text versus the oval. The text is harder to read.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to drop the oval so as not to have confusion, or I thought I was going to. Okay, great. I did. So, so in the beginning of the stream, you want to make sure to go to graphics and make sure that that logo is, if that logo is on the up in the corner, that's how you do it. If, as you noticed before, as you may have noticed before, when we went to just like when we went to 2 people in the stream, like this, if you notice, there's a background. That's actually a picture of the back wall. And it's what I've set as the default background for us. You can also change the background to something else. Like there's one thing with welcome and one thing without it. Actually, there's probably no point in having welcome because we can just put it at the bottom. So whether you want to be all like smooth and silky, holy, or whether you want to be bright and shiny and reminding us of our whatever, both of those things are there as options. There's also videos that you can upload here as opposed to there. I don't know that there's an advantage to that, and I don't think there is. I think it makes more sense just to play them straight out. There's also overlays, which I can't imagine that we're going to use as an option, but you know, we can at some point if we want, like, I don't know, jingle bells or something in the corner. It's good to know that we have options, right? Just so you know, there's also like default graphics in the system that I have hidden. So for example, boo overlay, okay. That I've hidden just to make it easier when you're doing it. I've also hidden participants' names because I think it's weird, but you can add those back in if you want to. If you notice where it has primary color, so that's the color that corresponds to the actual like captions, for example. You see how there's that color down there? The color that you actually get to choose what. Yes, they must have an Easter overlay. Thank you. Did everybody else see that, or is it just me who got to see that?
Yeah, we saw it.
Okay, good. So that Michael has just pointed out, we also have a chat feature, which you can send people notes that won't go out in the comments to on the stream, but just to people who are running it, which is a useful feature. Okay, great. So getting back to the color and the graphics. So if this is like ridiculous, this is also one of these things is why it's better to use the technology we have. This is ridiculously anal of me, but this light, whatever it is, green, matches that one in the logo perfectly. Like I got the number. And so for this Sunday, I actually used the dark green, but I think it's better with the light green. But we're trying to make. I'm glad to hear that there's an approval. But I kind of like the idea that it matches the logo. So if you are doing it from home, another thing you'll need to do is to get the actual number for that color code to drop it in. Okay, getting to setup. I probably should have started here, but that's okay. So when you click to set up, it'll tell you your destinations. So right now we're streaming to YouTube host a virtual campus. That is a test site for us. No, it's not really meant to be for public consumption. It's just be for our own use. On Sundays, you want to, it should default this way, but on Sundays, you want to make sure that it's Facebook and YouTube St. Aidan's that are the destinations it's going to. And then when you hit live, it'll go there. You can also achieve this by, if you see on the right hand, there's a dashboard. Hopefully you won't disappear.
Well, we didn't disappear.
Yeah, so don't click that button for
Yeah,
dashboard.
don't click that.
Whoops.
Hey,
Sorry about that. Okay, it looks like we are still live though. Okay, so apparently I can't click away, but if you were to click there, you would find, I don't know what happened to Tracy. You would find that you would also have the ability to choose destinations from the dashboard. You can also, you can't do this once you started streaming, but you can also change the title and like the description that goes up on Facebook and YouTube when we go there. So we're going to start trying to put the link for the bulletin at the top of the, rather than just in the chat in the middle of it. Tracy's still gone. That's okay. I trained her yesterday. I figure if we've only lost one person, then like we're ahead of the game in 2020. Okay, great. If you go to this website, if you go to this website, Restream, Studio Restream.io, you should log in automatically from the host account. If you're coming from that at church or whatever, the login credentials are once again host@aidenschurch.org. If for host@aidenschurch.org for the email, and then the password is once again Aiden's Church to get into Restream if you need to. Yeah. At the end of the stream, you just hit finish, and it'll stop. Is how that works. If you ever want to mute yourself or your camera, you can do that. Yeah, the rest of it is pretty intuitive. So what questions or thoughts do y'all have about this at this time?
I guess my first question is there, can we use those same login credentials from home to practice?
Yes.
Okay.
You should be able to do that. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you want me to set you up to be on the, I can get you into the, so the short answer is yes, to Restream directly.
Okay.
If you want to be able to access the files actual files we use from home, I'll need to set you up to be able to log into to the Chrome browser with host@aidenschurch.org, which I can, but because of security features, like I get texted a number and then I have to give it to you. So we just have to sort of coordinate to do that.
I've got plenty of media files I can practice with.
Okay,
so
great.
I'll just do that.
Yeah, no, I encourage you to practice and play around. And, you know, in general, I'll give you guys directions in the, especially in the rehearsals. We always rehearse at 9:30. But for the most part, I want you guys to feel free to play around a little bit. Like the only way I was able to find the caption thing is I just clicked show. I know that I want you guys to have your own sort of like artistic integrity as directors in this. If you want me to make a call, I'll make a call, because sometimes people just feel it's easier if they have someone to tell them to do. But I'm also open to people trying stuff that's a little different, right? Like I don't think every worship has to be window or in your or more in your face, but I guess in your face doesn't really matter when there's this many people. But when there's two, it's a little different. Oh, you were asking about the background music and how that worked. So, so this is the background track. It's got no video. It's just audio. So I can play it if there's an overlay. But if I take away the overlay, then it comes up as a black box. And you can also spotlight, remember? And then it's, the black box is right. The black box is right in the corner, right next to Tracy. but sorry. Though the other thing is the other limitation of this for those of you who use Stage 10 is in Stage 10 you could control the volume of each feed. I haven't found a way to be able to do that, which also makes it difficult to have background music because if you can't actively control the volume of that feed in the background.
Yeah. Can I say something really quick?
Please do, Patricia.
So this past Sunday, I noticed that. I wasn't sure if you were just had too much going on or if there was no functionality to do that. And I definitely had to turn my speakers down for one of the songs, which is kind of okay for speakers, but it might be painful for people who are listening if anyone's listening on headphones. So we either need to like level the music beforehand or figure something out because it might be painful.
Yeah. I would love thoughts on how I can instruct my music team to make sure that the levels are right. I don't really know how to maybe I need to tell them to put everything in an 8, but I don't understand why some recordings are much louder than other recordings is my problem. So I don't know how to fix it because I don't know how to diagnose it.
I can fix it if somebody wants to email me the files.
Yeah, but the problem is it's going to be every week. I mean, that may be more than you want to volunteer to do.
How many? Is it like 4 songs? Or are we talking?
There's 2 new songs a week and 6 songs total.
2 new songs a week. I might be able to manage that. We could try it to see if I can keep on top of it. Because I've got.
I mean, if you are for that, we could look into it.
Yeah.
And we can coordinate more. I will need to set you up to get to the Chrome browser if you want to do that, which isn't a problem. But that's will be how you access the actual files.
Oh, okay. Or is it on? Did you say you save it on a G drive, or is it just like an internal?
So we have Google Workspace, so we save it on Google Drive Workspace.
Okay. 3 new songs with Communion. So
yeah, but Communion isn't an issue for streaming. Thank you, though, Tracy.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad because all you have to do is go into the file, level it. That's like maybe 20 minutes if you're just talking about 3 songs.
I mean, yeah, I think we should work on this. I can't see you, Tracy.
I think she's frozen.
But Michael can't, apparently. Okay.
It's something we could teach the music team.
I think that might be more efficient.
Okay.
Let's work on that outside of this training. But I'm really grateful for your openness to help us out with that, Heidi. And I probably will take you up on it if I can't figure out how to.
It's fine. I guess. Do we know what software they're using to record and balance?
Yes. Letitia uses iMovie and Julie uses Flixier, though she wants to change to something else.
Oh, so you're probably going to need to dump it into something like Audition, or the shareware version of that, because that'll be the way that you can level them all together.
Yeah. So now we're getting above my head. So
okay.
I'm really glad you're here. And I'd love to talk about that. Okay. I'm aware that this is still the training for people who aren't here too.
Yeah. Okay. I'll shut up.
No, you're awesome. I'm so excited to have you on the team. I think that's going to help a lot. I'm not trying to blow you off. I'm just trying to, okay. So other thoughts or questions about how to use the program?
Oh, well, sorry. One question. There's no password on the laptop in your office, right? Or is there?
That's a good question. Yes, there is a pen, which is 0831.
Okay.
Which is for August 31st, which is St. Aidan's Day.
Okay.
And if you run into trouble, all of the staff knows it. I've thought about putting it on the whatever. because of the like amazing security we apparently have. So, but yes, 0831 is the pen to get into the laptop itself. And there's a dual monitor here, and a full setup, and a nice view out the window. My office tends to be a little messy. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to keep it better, but just apologies up front. I guess I can't hear you right now, Tracy. You can come into to this room if you want to. You're just next door. Okay. Other thoughts or questions about this technology or how to use it?
I just want to say it looks a little bit, it looks a lot different. Hi, Tracy. It looks a lot different and a little more intimidating than stage 10. Like it takes more paying close attention and like you can't pre-do the scenes. Maybe I'm missing something, but I feel like I'll definitely have to play with it for a little bit.
Feel free to play with it. I will say that for me, I felt that while it does look more intimidating in using it, it's simpler.
Okay.
It can't do as much, and so it is simpler.
Okay.
And it's weird to have trainings like this, I know. Mm-hmm. Especially when I'm sharing the screen, which is sharing the screen, which is sharing the screen. But we worship infinity here. But I think you'll find that once you get a hang of it, it might take a little bit more focus. But the other thing is everything's in one place. I mean, I was able to direct and perform way easier at the same time this last Sunday than when I was trying to do it on stage 10.
Okay.
Because once again, you don't worry about separate audio feeds or turning it out. Like it's just, and ultimately we may have to make another change in the long run. So Restream, as I understand it, is really designed as a streaming technology. And then like the production of it all is, most people use that as like they buy like a shell that they stream to this and then this shoots it out. So that's why I think it's not that elaborate a tool on this end, because really what they're marketing the back end.
Right.
We may get to the point where we look at upgrading if we want to add a little bit more professional feel. But that adds layers of complication as well. So it's like one of these like, our streaming is, if it works, our streaming is really fun. So I think that hopefully will be okay. But
okay.
Other thoughts or questions? Can you hear the PE class counting outside? Excellent. Well, that I think is is the training. If y'all don't have any other questions, thank you so much for joining us. And we'll be in touch.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Bye, Tracy.
Michael, do you feel all right doing it this Sunday?
This Sunday, was I signed up?
Yeah, you're signed up for this Sunday. Can you not do this Sunday?
Yeah, I'll do it this Sunday. I'll work on site. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Awesome. But you feel like you can give it a go?
Yeah, I'll just take a look at it probably later in the day or the week.
Okay, great. Thank y'all so much.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye.